Yes, we are live.
Okay, how's your night been? How's your week been? Very interesting topic we have for today. What's our topic then?
Spiritual awakening and ascension during these times, these pandemic times. Hmm. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are just about to start. So, shall I share? Okay, what is spiritual awakening? I found this quote that I like to share with everyone. It's really touching. It's a quote by okay, it's a quote by Pema Chodron. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's a Tibetan Buddhist nun. This is how she describes spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening is frequently described as a journey to the top of a mountain. We leave our attachments and our worldliness behind and slowly make our way to the top. At the peak, we have transcended all pain. The only problem with this metaphor is that we leave all the others behind, our drunken brother, our schizophrenic sister, our tormented animals and friends. Their suffering continues, unrelieved by our personal escape. In the process of discovering bodhicitta, which is awakened heart, the journey goes down, not up. This is Pema's perspective of spiritual awakening. It's as if the mountain pointed toward the earth, the center of the earth, instead of reaching into the sky. Instead of transcending the suffering of all creatures, we move toward the turbulence and doubt. We jump into it, we slide into it, we tiptoe into it, we move toward it however we can. We explore the reality and unpredictability of insecurity and pain, and we try not to push it away. If it takes years, if it takes lifetimes, we let it be as it is. At our own pace, without speed or aggression, we move down and down and down. With us move millions of others, our companions in awakening from fear. At the bottom, we discover water, the healing water of bodhicitta, which is awakened heart. Right down there in the thick of things, we discover the love that will not die.
Let's breathe into that. That's like, wow, then. It brings me into different layers of life, and when it's like as we are discovering and going through and finding the seeking meaning in our life experiences, and then in the end you find it's water. So it relate to today's topic about spiritual awakening and ascension. Let me share this banner.
Yes, that's what we were talking about today. You know how I did a little bit of reading up about what spiritual awakening is, and I went to like I found websites like the Chopra Foundation and all right, and they describe spiritual awakening as something very like beautiful and it's like letting go of attachment, finding peace and harmony or something like that lah, things like that. And then I remember my spiritual awakening. Yes, maybe towards the later parts, but really when I was going through this whole process, it was not love and light. It was not.
So what was it for you? What's spiritual awakening for you?
So spiritual awakening for me really is like what Pema Chodron described. A lot of uncovering, a lot of moving, uh, uncovering and shedding, a lot of shedding of masks or like conditions or um, what is um, what is stuff I learned and what is stuff that is truly who I am, remembering who I am, and going down to the core and working with like my fears, my doubts, my shame, my guilt, and all that, and really seeing things within me as I am. Yeah. What about you?
The seen and unseen, the hidden part. I feel like I can. It's so very similar to me, and it's not really just not about the beautiful things in life, but it's like an alarm clock. It's like wake up, and if I use one word to describe it, it would be initiation, the beginning
Mm,
of a new path.
mm, mm,
And you know how the Matrix movie, remember how they were given
yeah.
a choice to eat, you want a blue pill or a red pill, and we always have a choice. I always have a choice to remain ignorant in some way, to deny,
Mm,
not seeing a lot of stuff, my own stuff, to keep living comfortable life, or to sort of awakening, wake up and feel all the pain, and but then after the pain it's a lot of liberation, but then it doesn't end. So it keeps repeating. That's the interesting part, isn't it? Like
mm,
the whole spiritual awakening thing. And same as you, a lot of um, feeling lost at first.
mm,
We don't understand what is this. Don't know why. What am I going through? Especially in this
mm,
life, it keeps going again and again. We mentioned how many level we have released and how many level we have upgraded ourselves, and it just
mm.
keeps
Yeah.
going. Right.
Yeah. So there's also this term, right, Vicky? You said like because we are upgrading, constantly upgrading ourselves, and just when we think we're done, like oh, I finally uncovered this. I learned this. I have unpacked a certain pattern already. Next thing I know, poof, oh, there's more to discover. Yeah. There's this
Yeah.
thing. So there's this thing called spiritual ascension as well, right?
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
So what's the difference? Is there any difference for you? Awakening, ascension.
Hmm. I think to me it's very similar. I just feel like awakening is like the like what you say is initiation, and then ascension is is part of it. Um, so I actually had a read and like went to do some research about this. What is spiritual ascension? And spiritual ascension has been described as a process where our body begins to embody more light and increase
Oh,
capacity to hold light. So there's this thing called light quotient, LQ, light quotient. And
interesting.
basically, it's about the body's capacity to hold light in the cells and embody light. So ascension is related to this, and it can sometimes so ascension can sometimes start at the beginning of a spiritual awakening. So it could be part of the it could be
Mm,
an onset of spiritual awakening, um, or
mm.
it could just be happening over and over again as a part of a process. Um, yeah, yeah, and then
That's
mm, mm-hmm,
and then
you say, oh,
I
and
was
then
saying like that's very
oh,
interesting.
oh, okay. Yes, it is right. It's quite interesting. And then so the difference between awakening and ascension, awakening pula is like you said is an initiated uh incident. And it can happen through like very simple things through meditation. So I've heard of people just going through a meditation process and waking up, and everything has changed for them in the way that they
Yeah.
perceive the world, in the way that they like to live. Their values suddenly change, and that's like a very suppose some people go through it over a period of time, and some people go through it like very suddenly it's just change, pum boom. And then there's this thing
Yes.
about spiritual emergency also. So that's the very intense and sudden, in a short period of time things just change so dramatically internally that externally it's like no longer matching. So we'll go through the stages and signs of ascension very shortly. But yeah, I was talking for viewers who just joined us. We are talking about the difference between ascension and awakening. So I was talking about the awakening, how awakening could happen through simple things like meditation, or some people getting high, taking some plant medicine. I've heard of that as well. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't recommend it unless it calls to you. I think some people know this. And then some people go through life challenges. So that's something I resonate with. I went through some life challenges, and that's how my spiritual awakening began. We can go through that and we can discuss it. So, yeah, that's where we are. Maybe now we can talk about the stages of awakening. Vicky, what are they?
Oh, on one note, I wanted to also uh just want to mention why about ascension. It's very interesting. It's something that I
Mm,
you can just listen it as a storytelling. Okay, it does not mean it's true or not, but then this is very interesting. What's happening globally? It's because the whole globe, the Earth, is going through ascension itself. It's like rising its vibration, rising its frequency, and even there's a lot of a high spike that we can check out online. There's a lot of high spike throughout this few years of Schumann resonance of the Earth. Like suddenly there's a lot of high surge of energy, and what's the symptoms? It will also affect us, our body and mind. When I saw there's one bar on the internet, I'm like, oh, okay. So this is interesting because the whole earth is going through ascension, then us as human race is also going through ascension. And that's why we are feeling all these symptoms and signs to move forward, to like to change that basically, to evolve and change. So that's the importance that I would love to point out, like bringing out the big picture. And then now we can go to what are the symptoms of this one.
stages. You want to talk about the stages first, or you want to talk about symptoms?
Oh, sorry, stages.
Either. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Stages. There's no stages here, I realize. Okay.
Oh,
So I was talking about the banner.
maybe we can. Oh, maybe we can respond to Edward also. Edward was saying sounds like awakening is like you have some sort of awareness, and then ascension is like level up in things we do. Mm,
Ooh.
mm. Yeah. So
Now,
ascension. Yes, yes, Vicky. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, you
Go ahead.
finish.
Go ahead.
Finish.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so ascension could be part of the awakening stage. And
Yeah.
then it could also happen throughout our life. Yeah.
Yes. Like all these
Mm,
triggers of all this ascension, awakening,
mm,
and then
mm,
ascension,
mm.
like going through
Yeah.
what's in life.
Mm.
Yeah.
And also, Vicky, you shared about how in recent times the Schumann resonance of Earth is spiking up, is increasing. Um, what I also understand is that there's more light being downloaded or being
Ah,
sent to Earth. I
yes.
haven't quite yet researched into the scientific related side of it, but this is what I understand. More light is being downloaded to the Earth, and as a result, in recent times, in the past couple of years, especially during this time, there's a lot of instability. So we're going through like
Mm,
the pandemic, we're going through economic instability, not just in our government or politically. We talk about our government first. We got government is like, does our PM resign? Does our PM does not resign? Do they
oh,
enforce
yes.
MCO, full MCO, EMCO? What's going on, right? And then we talk
Yeah.
about like Southeast Asia also, Myanmar situation over there, everything, and on a global scale as well. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of extreme political
Changes.
challenges, changes going as well. Yeah, so it's just like how our body, I was talking about ascension, and ascension being our body changing and such transforming in terms of the light quotiency to receive and hold more light. Same thing with the earth. The earth is also transforming in a way to hold more
Yes.
light. Yeah,
Yes.
so we are purging internally. We are purging. Our systems are purging, and the earth is also purging in a way.
Mm.
I have to be very careful with this because when you talk about earth purging, then like um, it's a bit sensitive. But anyway, we can carry on with the signs of awakening. Yeah, let's
Here's
start with
another
that.
sensitive part also. Like,
Yeah.
but it's
Mm,
just easy to note on, like, just to share an awareness on,
mm,
like, for people or beings who cling to what was or who resist to change, it might have we might experience a painful transition. And because everything is about changes, new vibration and stuff like that.
mm,
So let's get ready for the question. What are the stages, signs, and symptoms? So what will we go through as we go through all these processes, right? um, some of the simple processes, like for example, stages are, we talk about one might feel lost at first, like totally don't know where am I, what am I doing here, don't know, just lost lah, basically. And then started to seek for meaning, ask deeper question, and then started to find meaning, and then you started to find answers, and then you get lost again, and then you integrate, then you do deeper inner work, and keeps repeating the process. That's for me also. That's how I resonate also. Another ascension or spiritual awakening process that I really resonate with is shared by Teal Swan. Um,
mm, mm,
First, we'll go through a lot of love and light because we come from like a place of uncertainty, insecure, and we not enough love, don't unworthiness. So the first stage is realize that we are love, we are light, and then we're going through another stage. The second stage, we go deeper and find our shadow. We did our shadow dance today, and then we will seek our darkness, what we have been denying ourselves. We'll go through all the shadow work, like going through, yeah, the painful experience. And then the third stage is love and light again. It's like after you're going through the like crack, dig, dig, then you realize, oh, inside it's light, it's
and
gold.
and that is that sounds to me like what Pema Chodron described, right? The healing water of the awakened heart. Yeah, at the
Yes.
core of it. Yeah, the never-ending love,
Yeah, it
never
and
dying love.
then
Mm,
it keeps repeating. Like deeper
mm,
realization, like everything is just spiral, moving in spiral.
mm.
And yeah, that's the stages.
Wow. So, just wondering, the ones who are listening to us, tuning in, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to share your perspectives as well as and when we are sharing what we have processed and learned about spiritual
Yeah,
awakening.
I want to
Yeah.
know how's it going for you?
Yeah, feel free to comment. So we'll move on to discuss the stages. Sorry, we talked about the stages already. Now we're going to talk about the symptoms. The symptoms of awakening. So symptoms of
Wow.
awakening, there are quite a few, but it's physical and emotional. Physical, emotional, spiritual. Um, Now we'll start with the physical symptoms first. Physical symptoms, um, it starts with like exhaustion. So those who are undergoing an awakening or ascension. So I found that awakening and ascension, the symptoms are quite similar and related to each other. So I think we'll just discuss them one shot together in the interest of time. So for people going through this process, you may feel exhausted. It's a deep and it's a kind of like exhaustion that is a very deep level, especially for those who are going through ascension during these times. Your Because your physical body is going through an enormous process. Like I mentioned earlier, that the body is changing in a way to increase its capacity for to receive light, the light quotient. Um, the light quotient. So it's really going through a detox. It's purging actually. Um,
Mm.
so it's purging all the old, outdated information, programming, conditioning, karma, and everything. So you may feel extremely exhausted during this period, and the nervous system becomes more sensitized. So some of us, okay, like highly sensitive people and empaths may already feel like, no, I have enough. It's okay. I'm sensitive enough already. But guess
Exactly.
what? During the ascension period, it's heightened. You may even pick up more energy subtleties. And why this is happening is because it's part of experiencing the oneness and the spiritual oneness and connection. So during this process, it can be a little overwhelming in a way that because you can sense all these energies. Um, so you may go through temporary anxiety or panic attacks, and the immune system. Next thing is the immune system. The next thing, because we're purging physically, the immune system may be compromised temporarily. So what's common is that people go through inflammation, temporary experiences of inflammation, joint pain, body aches, things like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Easier to inflame.
Mm.
Insomnia. We heard of cases of
Mm.
insomnia.
Difficulty sleeping, just because I think we're just downloading so much information. Um, so we
Waking
want to be
up,
very careful. Yes, waking up,
waking
waking
up
up.
during the night.
Mm,
Kaito,
yeah,
yours a bit lagging here, so sometimes we might overlap. I don't know how.
it's okay. I'm okay. I hope our viewers are fine with it.
I don't know how's your effect. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
let's let us know if you feel these symptoms as well. I don't know
yeah.
how is it for you. Let's
I see. Yeah, Jennifer said waking up in wee hours, right? Like what you mentioned, Vicky. Yeah, yeah. So what I've been hearing, my own experience, and also with a lot of people and fellow netizens who have come up with articles as well. Between 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Is a common period time that people tend to wake up during this period.
mm.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for letting
So
us know that we sound fine, Stephanie.
thank you, Stephanie. Glad you're here. Yeah. Okay, so the next few signs, symptoms, emotional symptoms, disconnection, especially during awakening, is because we are energetically, vibrationally, we're all vibrational beings. I've explained this a few times. To everybody. But if anyone is not sure what I mean about being a vibrational being, feel free to ask in the chat box and then I will explain it again. So we're all vibrational beings. And during this spiritual awakening, we are vibrationally transforming as well. So it's like, to describe it, it's like we're unplugging. So we are so connected. We are beings of connection, and energetically we are connected to a certain lifestyle, a certain uh, group of community and things like that. But as we awaken spiritually, we tend to disconnect because vibrationally not aligned anymore, not resonating at the same frequency. So we unplug, and then and this results externally in life-changing events where maybe we suddenly don't enjoy certain lifestyles anymore, or we don't hang out with the same friends anymore. So yeah, so my personal experience is I used to spend my Fridays after work at bars, crowded areas, loud music, drinking. Not like I enjoy drinking, I just enjoy being part of the crowd, I suppose, and the rock music, the live music. I love the live music. But then as I went through my process of awakening, I started becoming very sensitive to the noise and the crowd, and I didn't enjoy it at all anymore. It just made me sick. And it made me very nervous. And I get panic attacks and anxiety. Actually, I have to like excuse myself and like step out of the. I remember I step out of the pub and try and to ground myself. I needed to ground myself a lot. And it was, yeah, at the time I felt like I was being the weird one, and my friends were probably thinking also, this weird girl, what's she doing? What's going on? Yeah, but so that's part of the process of awakening as well. This
Mm.
change of lifestyle.
Mm.
Mm,
Same
yeah.
here.
Mm,
Getting more sensitive of a change of friends, a change of the food eating habit, change of
mm,
the life routine, what I focus on, what I do on, what I find it entertaining. Very interesting comment that we have here from
mm,
Stephanie.
mm,
But I already have the habit of waking up around 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. Given that I manage to fall asleep around 11 p.m., is my condition related to Ascension or is just me being a light sleeper? Wow, good question.
that's a good question.
What do you think?
Mm. It's it's really something that I think you will know. So during the ascension, like I mentioned, there's a lot of downloading of information. So like in terms of dreams, um, you may be having certain types of dreams. Um, they could be vivid. They could be um, like messages, or you could not even dreams. It could be some people have reported also ideas, inspiration, and that's something I also resonate with, especially lately. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity just pouring out the moment I sit still with meditation or something. Tung, 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 tung. So lately I've been in like a lot in creation. um,
Mm.
so that could be part of an ascension. Or if there's so you I think it's a personal experience. See how you feel about it. I
Yeah,
hope that answers your question.
it feels the same. I mean,
mm. Mm.
sometimes, sometimes I
Mm.
wake up throughout midnight, but it sounds like Stephanie is like the habit. It's like it's a
Mm.
habit as well.
Mm. Yeah, it could be habitual as well, so want to be aware of it lah. It's habitual.
Mm.
Mm. Ooh, okay, let's see.
Chiron,
Chiron.
complete destruction of health, life, relationships, career, comfort, emotions. What I think I know about life, basically. Like
Mm.
caterpillars who have imaginal cells, cells of potential, they transform into butterfly. Do you know
Mm.
that caterpillar in the cocoon have to disintegrate into liquid? The body has to be destroyed, and then this imaginal cells can reorganize themselves and turn into a butterfly. This is metamorphosis. I got allergic to everything, even
Mm.
kale, spinach. Now I'm allergic to rice and
And is there a maximum that we can view? It stopped there, like on StreamYard. Yeah, it stopped there. So, Chiron, if you don't mind, if there's more to, I'm allergic to rice, and do you mind copying and pasting it so that we can read it here on StreamYard? Thank you. Um, Sugar,
actually
rice and
allergic.
sugar.
Sugar. Okay, I can't even.
Mm, mm,
Wow, I can't imagine becoming more and more sensitive to the food. And what can I
yeah,
eat? Rice and
yeah.
sugar. I can't even have fruits. No. Oh, the
It
Stephanie,
sounds,
thank you.
yeah, thank you, Stephanie. And thanks, Chiron. It sounds like a very frustrating time, actually, if you can't, there's so much that you are adjusting to food wise. Yeah. Mm. It's the body telling you. So I guess it's like learning to me. It's like learning to tune into the body, and the body is like telling you what you can eat, what you cannot eat, and yeah.
Going through a lot of changes, huh? Like the
Mm,
body cells,
mm,
physical. It's like, wow.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah, so this also can be related, can result in disorientation. And Chiron, I think the symptom that you just shared, complete destruction of health, life, relationships, career, comfort, emotions, and everything I know. I think I know. It sounds like a spiritual emergency. So there are terms. In the course of researching for this, I came across different terms. So there is a term called spiritual emergency, which is very
Mm.
similar to spiritual awakening. It's just that spiritual emergencies, in terms of time, happen very sudden, acute, and then in very intensely. Yeah. Yes, Dark Night of the Soul is something that Vicky will be covering also, we'll be discussing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, going through a lot of Dark Night of the Soul.
Mm.
That's really usually relatable. What is Dark Night of the Soul for me? It's like we literally experiencing a lot of hell experience, not good, not feel good experiences that makes me like feel like just wanted to disconnect everything. I don't feel like meeting people, disconnect from the world, just me alone and me in my own bubble. And my personal experience is it's literally like I can't imagine. I just wish that some when we can if we can resonate to this experience, it's just like you just want to keep punching the wall. I just want to keep punching the
Mm.
wall and scream. That's my experience and
First. Mm.
frustration. And it turns
So,
out that it's actually also a part of the soul awakening for myself because it's just a process that I have to go through. I have to go to the down to the pit hole, and then only I can rebound. That's how I figure out that um I know that it's a process, then embracing it and facing it with a lot of trusting the process, and a lot of support from people, then yeah, so that's what happened.
sounds like it was a very lonely experience, frustrating also for you. Mm.
We might I might have heard some stories from our friends saying that they are
Mm.
going through a lot of things and basically just doesn't want to connect to any, just reduce the connection with others and uh, a lot of emotions to process. So here we are, just whoever watching this, just let you know that we're here to
Yes,
support if you ever needed
you
it.
are not alone.
You are not alone.
Yes.
Mm.
Mm. And
I'm
Jennifer's saying allowing. Oh, hi Antares. Internet problems tonight. Glad you made it though. Glad you made it. Hello, hello,
yeah.
hello.
Hello.
Now, Jennifer, allowing the breakdown of all known structures in our lives,
Oh
and she
yes.
also, yeah, and she also said losing the very thing. Is this how? Oh, okay. Eh,
Oh, I see.
losing the very things I love most. Sorry, Vicky.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So this is like the symptom that I shared earlier is to like disconnecting and unplugging from the connections that we used to enjoy, and now it's like finding a
Disconnect.
new, yeah, finding a new center, finding a new direction or navigating through.
Babe, something about
Mm,
this
mm,
is the question. What do you think of
mm,
is all the
mm.
suffering that we're going through, like mental health, mental illness, health illness? It's is it related? Do you feel like it's related to as a gateway towards spiritual awakening and ascension?
Yes, 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 yes. I'm a big believer in breakdowns being opportunities for breakthroughs. So
Oh,
suffering is a pathway towards awakening, towards ascension, towards development, towards, yeah, and yeah, and maybe I can share what our spiritual teachers
mm,
also think. So what do our spiritual teachers think about this?
while you share, Jennifer shared
Oh,
something
okay.
forcing you to surrender and
Mm,
meditate.
yes, yes, yes.
Stephanie say high five to that, high 10 to that.
Back to that. So suffering and spirit. So Ramdas, one of my favorite spiritual teachers, psychologist, and author, he says, and I am faced with a paradox that I, as a human with a human emotional heart, want to take away your suffering. And at the same moment, there's another part of me that understands that suffering is grace, that suffering is the sandpaper from the spiritual point of view that is awakening people. And once you started to spiritually awaken, you re-perceive your own suffering and start to work with it as a vehicle for awakening. Yeah. And then Eckhart Tolle talks
Woohoo!
about, yes, another favorite teacher of mine. Some people, yeah, some people awaken spiritually without ever coming into contact with any meditation technique or any spiritual teaching. They may awaken simply because they can't stand the suffering anymore.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah,
Mm.
and when you talk about, you asked about mental illnesses, right? So
Mm.
this is Dr. Lisa Miller. She's a professor and she's a clinical psychologist and author. She's also a very renowned expert on she's known as an expert when it comes to psychology and also spirituality. She's
Mm.
done her research. She's a director in an institute related to this. So she says that this was depression as when she shared her own experience and she related her experience as depression as a portal to a world of connection, a world of love, a world in which we walk a spiritual path. This was depression as only one side of the door, on one side of the door, and on the other side of the door was illumination, warmth, light, and spiritual path, a spiritual passage. So Dr. Lisa Miller, she was sharing about her experience with miscarriage because she's for years she wanted to have a child with her husband, but she just couldn't, and she finally had, and then
Mm.
she miscarried, and expressed about her depression at night. There was one night that she just had the worst experience, and there was something that happened. You can watch this on TED Talk. Actually, it's a very interesting, inspiring talk. So she describes this as suffering in one side of the door, and on the other side, it allows us to towards the light, like dark
Yeah.
and light working together, isn't it, Vicky? Something that we
Yeah.
discussed before also.
Yeah.
You know. Because I feel like, when we spiritually awaken and then we identify ourselves as being spiritual beings, I noticed that there's a tendency for spiritual newbies. Check and confirm spiritual newbies. Okay, we're all newbies in this experience. Okay,
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
learning.
Both
But
teachers
I
and students.
Yes, we are both teachers and students, no matter how old and how far we are in this path. But I do notice that there are some friends who tend, even myself, tend to get very attached to the light. I only want light, and I don't need to look at the shadow, and I resist it. The darkness. I'm a being of light. I'm a being of light. Yeah. But recently I learned about polarity,
Mm.
how light and darkness, and we talked about this, Vicky, and you shed light to me. Maybe
Mm.
can you share it with us? This how
To
light and
explain the
darkness
shadow.
work together.
Oh, okay,
Ah,
sure. Uh,
okay.
light and darkness is a very interesting thing. Just a new perspective that I really love. When I started to see darkness as the womb of our mother, as the womb of our mother earth, where darkness is where the creation comes, and where out of this human thinking world mind, actually darkness and light are working together. They are complementary, and when light doesn't work, darkness come to help through for evolution. What for? Why we need darkness and light, right? But yeah, it's for change. life is ever changing. So I give you an example. For example, when someone is so ignorant, when someone is just don't want to change, refuse to change, and what happened is angels keep saying, giving light, signs, symptoms, 1 1 1 1 4 4 4 4, and not enough. Yeah, just don't want to move. Okay, just I don't want to listen to all this inner voice. And what happened is storytelling. The light beings can invite the dark beings to please do your work. So what happened is when someone experience accident, I'm so sorry, I'm totally compassion and a lot of love, but when someone experience accident, it's because someone is needed to experience such incidents so that one be able to rest and realize yeah, just to listen to that voice, you know.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I can attest to that. Yeah.
What's your experience going
Perhaps
through?
you were referring to me.
No, 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 no. There's no
But
specific person. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So resonate with that. When the light doesn't work, darkness comes, and it's also like how Oprah Winfrey says it. It comes in a whisper, and if we ignore it, it comes louder until it becomes a scream. So yeah, so in my personal life as well, actually it was work. So I'm one of those people who used to be workaholics quite intensely, big, huge workaholics. And I remember this period of time where I told my colleagues, I need a break and I need to take 2 months off. I really need to take my 2 months off. Month after month after month after month, I was refusing to let go of the responsibility. And the next thing you know, something happens. I had an argument, and boom, next thing you know, I'm in the hospital for 2 months. For 2 months, yeah. So sometimes it's really the body telling the body or the unconscious mind or whatever it is telling me what I need, and me ignoring it, and then darkness. This is like the suffering comes lah, as a way of like teaching the lesson, some lesson to learn from the suffering. But I'm not saying that all things happen like this, like like loss of. I want to be sensitive as well. I'm not we don't want to be generalizing things, because having a losing a loved one during this time is very,
Painful.
very painful, and I'm not saying that there's a lesson to be learned in those things. It's just my personal experience of injuries and accidents.
Yeah. I think what you
Yeah.
resonate, but I love this quote of Eckhart Tolle where he mentions suffering is necessary until you
Learn
believe
the
or you
lesson.
learn that it's not necessary until you know that it's not necessary. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my life quote actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Stephanie can relate to, and then Chiron and
Mm.
saying,
Byron saying amazing quotes. I resonate with all. Wouldn't be a coach or healer if not for my drastic life experiences. Not to get rid of suffering, but to make suffering understandable and digestible so that we can all be more loving beings. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes to that.
Thank you,
So
loving beings.
yes. So it's
So, yeah.
9:46 now. I thought maybe we can very quickly go through how to work and tips on how to cope or handle spiritual awakening and ascension, in case anyone
Yes.
is struggling with it.
Oh, feel
Mm.
free, guys. Feel free to share it on the comments. We want to know.
Yeah,
Let's support and
yeah,
help each other. Yeah.
yeah.
What's your
Feel free to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you um, what helped when you were going through your spiritual awakening or ascension? Yeah, we'd love to hear. So I can share first.
yes.
Yeah, so the first one is really about grounding, grounding, grounding. Very important. I feel that when we're going through spiritual awakening, it's all about the mind transcending, and then like the soul. Like we're learning so much, downloading so much information up here, um, and sometimes we kind of lose grip of for lack what word, how do I describe this? We lose grip of what's happening or the practicalities of life. Um,
Mm.
yeah. So how we can ground ourselves and remain centered is
Mm.
for those who have access to gardens or parks near the house, earthing. Earthing is fantastic. There is research, plenty of research out there. You can read about it. Earthing helps us release electrons and it has healing powers. It can help with chronic pain, even. That's how fantastic it is. So take off your shoes, take off your socks, and just spend like maybe
Barefoot.
10 minutes a day. Yes, walk
Yes.
barefoot on the ground, the grass, feel the grass. People hug trees, you know. Um, yes, close to nature. That's one way of grounding. And then the other thing is also to focus on the presence. Come home to your body and connect with the five senses. Connect with your senses because we're so sometimes we get caught up in the mind, especially when it comes to transcending, ascending, and awakening. We want to transcend
3D, 4D,
source.
5D, 6D, 7D,
Yes,
8D, 9D.
yes, yes, yes. Everybody wants to hang out in the 5D. Yes, explore 6D. Want to read
4D
Akashic records,
experience.
8D. Yes, yes, yes. But it's very important to take care of our body and really connect with the senses. There's a lot of beauty because 3D, we are all here intentionally. I like to believe that we are intentionally here in the 3D reality to experience this form.
Mm.
And the beauty of this form is in our senses, really.
Yeah.
The sight of a mountain, the sight of nature, the
The
sound of
pleasure
music,
of touch. I'm sorry. I
pleasure of
say that.
touch. Yes, my Buddhist friends might not like the word pleasure.
Oh,
Do not be attached to pleasure. But anyway, yes, we are here, human experience. Um,
yeah.
pleasure, pleasure
Like
of sensations. Yes,
it's
sensations, taste, food, and it can be done by dancing, going through expressive movement like what we did earlier. We have Sunday movements. Do some short advertisement, haha. Yes, Sunday movements on bi-weekly, bi-monthly, and then you can also practice slow movements like qigong, tai chi. These are really ancient um, practices. You can do it's like meditative movement lah.
mm,
For those who cannot sit still, can move and meditate at the same time. Can do walking meditation also. Then deep breathing, something that I love. I love deep breathing. Regulate your autonomous nervous system, the anxiety. So for those who are going through ascension, maybe you're feeling very sensitive and have tendency to panic attacks, anxiety. Deep breathing truly helps. I cannot say how much it really helps. So you can check out pranayama. You can check out Wim Hof method. I love Wim Hof method. Really grounds me. And then some people want to go high, use substances, right? You don't need to get high using substances. Try Wim Hof method and you feel so relaxed and you feel so good. Okay, it's good for the immune system as well. So anyway, we talk about meditation. So meditation, practice more grounding and centering, focused kind of meditations. um, And then also you can try conscious eating. Be aware of the food that you're consuming. Eat clean, eat healthy as far as you can. If you're wanting to, it's all about spiritual awakening. Really, to me, is about self development lah. It's self development of the body, mind, soul. So yes, take care of our body. And Jennifer also mentioned about trusting, surrendering, and handing over. So accepting what we can control, what we cannot control, and surrendering the rest, surrendering what we can't control to the universe and trusting. I think that's a process, easy to say, but it's a process.
it's what you have
Yeah.
gone through. It sounds like what
Yeah.
you have gone through. That's a lot. Thank you, Mama Karin.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I see some comments, Sean and Stephanie.
Pay attention, listen to the heartbeat. First mantra. Oh, our first mantra is
Mm.
our heartbeat. Love it.
Yes, yes, which brings me to the second point. So yes, we're going to talk about the second point. But maybe we read Stephanie's sharing first.
Practice sharing. Ooh, practice
Mm.
gratitude. Yes. Have
Mm.
compassion with our inner child. Trust that there's no accident with whatever we're going through. The universe is just here to guide us in its own mysterious way. Mm,
Yeah, love that.
high
Thank you for
five.
sharing, Stephanie. High five.
Yeah.
And go for therapy. Yes, yes, seek help, which is also another tip that we'll be sharing. So maybe I share hard work first. Hard work. So we are entering the age of the heart, and what it means is that a lot of us may be feeling a lot in the heart physically, right? We may be feeling the heart, and those who are sensitive to energy, you might feel that your heart is expanding, and some may even feel as if it's expanding to the point it's engulfing our chakras until we become one unified chakra. So it can be quite an intense experience. It can be quite wonderful, but at the same time, it may affect us physically in a way that we are more sensitive to the heart, and we can feel palpitations. So, if for those who feel palpitations, like I shared, deep breathing is very useful. Meditating, grounding exercises, practice that. But let's talk about hard work. So, hard work, um, there are a few things. Ho'oponopono, Vicky,
Oh,
something that
yeah.
you've always advocated. Hmm.
Favorite.
Yeah. You like to share about Ho'oponopono?
There's four sentence. Easy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna sing it. It's supposed to be a
Mm.
song, but then I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and I thank you. And it repeats. You can just play the song. It's very
Mm.
soothing to listen to.
So healing affirmations also form of that form of healing affirmations. There's a beautiful song. There's so many renditions of that song. You can check it out also on YouTube. Ho'oponopono, Hawaiian phrase.
Oh, oh, oh,
Mm. So that's one. And then there's the Heart Math Institute Heart Coherence Meditation. You can check it out. Heart Math Institute. Basically, this form of meditation is designed to bring coherence or alignment with the heart and mind. As they talk about, or maybe Vicky, you want to share about the power, the magnetic field of the heart and the
one thing to
brain.
always remember the heart intelligence
Mm.
and the brain intelligence. Heart intelligence is like thousands or more electromagnetic fields, much more bigger impact than the brain intelligence. So that's why it's so powerful when we activate our heart intelligence. And everything just comes from the heart, you know. So that's the most important point.
Mm. Yes. So that's hard work, part of hard work. So there's this sound healer. She's based in Malaysia. Elizabeth Huxtable. She runs a center called Scientific Science Asia. So you can check it out, Scientific Science Asia. She conducts heart-centered meditation, and it's inspired by heart coherence meditation.
Mm.
Every Friday, 2 p.m. So if anyone's interested, you can PM me later. I can offer that information. And not just that, uh, Reconnect Recharge also offers heart space, night heart space, meditation nights every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. And we do heart-centered mindfulness practices, which we curate and practice different forms every month. So yes, you can try it. Okay, so that's hard work. And the next point is seeking help, which is what Jennifer has shared. Seek help. You are not alone in this experience. So, for those who may be feeling very, very disharmonized, or maybe you're feeling mentally you can't do anything. Some people can't get out of bed. That was how I experienced my spiritual awakening. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get to work. I couldn't function. So
Mm.
please seek help, whether it's professional help, seek a teacher, guidance from spiritual teachers, or seek support from community. So find your tribe, be with people who have similar experiences. It can be grounding and it can really help. to know that you're not alone and that you're not crazy. You are not crazy. Okay, what's crazy is um, experiencing your experience and not seeking help and just continuing to struggle. I'm sorry, it's a bit judgmental, but I think I find that crazy. Um, so there are others who are experiencing this too. So seek help, find your community, and Reconnect Recharge is always here for you.
Oh,
Okay? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We are driving a bus and we're just like, going around. So like feel free to hop on and check us out during our activities.
Chiron said, "You
Okay.
guys are my tribe." Okay.
Oh, yes. You too. Yeah. So then the next thing is taking care of your body, lah, which I already expressed because right, like as I said earlier on, right, for those who are going through ascensions, our bodies are really purging. So our bodies are really going through a lot, and it's very common that we forget or neglect our physical body, and that's me. That's my experience as well. So take care of your food. Make sure you sleep sufficiently. Make sure you sleep for sufficiently. I'm looking in the mirror. Okay, exercise. Give your body the kind of exercise that suits your body. So some people don't exercise, then okay, you need to exercise lah. Some people over exercise, so you want to like find a balance, and drink loads of water. Water is a cleansing element. Okay, and for those who like to do fasting, I want to also highlight this fasting. You want to be mindful about the type of fasting that you do. I think you need to do a little bit more research on the fasting. If it's 1 or 2 days of intermittent fasting and things like that, I think I read that it's fine. But if it's extreme fasting, you want to be careful because it can have ungrounding elements, and then it makes you even more lost because you're already disoriented, you're already disconnected, you're already confused,
More
already
desire for
lost.
food.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like help yourself so you can help others. Yeah.
I guess it's also the same. It works the same for us. Like we
Mm.
constantly want to. I myself lah also the same.
Mm.
So we're doing this
Mm.
together. Together.
Yes, yes. Sorry, Vicky. Earlier on, you were saying no appetite. Let's talk about that because I know for a reason you are someone who likes to fast. Yeah. Let's just go. Why don't you share your experiences?
Um, I have a very weird belief. Not weird. It's just unique belief that I don't really need to eat so much, and I practice intermittent fasting and on and off, on and off. And what was the question again? Something about not eating.
The effect have you found fasting
Oh,
to be helpful?
oh, effect of
Yeah, in
fasting.
in
Yes,
your development. Mm.
it's a deep cleansing for me because when we eat, right, the stomach will keep processing. So when I don't eat, they stop processing the food and they start healing the body. So that's why I wanted to fast and allow the body to fast with intention. Like you really want to do it because there's a lot of reverse or adverse effect when someone just did it for make me look good or I don't know. But the intention must be really strong that you want the body to heal itself and allow time to heal itself. That's right.
It's
Yeah.
like a process of trusting your body and listening to it and cleansing. What I'm
Yes,
hearing is a
listen to your
cleansing
body.
process. Mm. Okay,
Mm.
nice, interesting. Okay, I think we've covered. Is there anything you'd like to go through?
I want to thank everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Mm.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Kyron, Jennifer, Sean,
Yeah, and Sean.
Antares tuning in.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's someone new, Ifa Juwon, Ifa Kuni also. Thank you
Oh,
for
thank you.
commenting.
Thank you
Yes,
also for those who
and
stayed with us.
Edward.
Yeah,
Mm.
Edward. So we want to send this intention and for you to just for us all to enjoy our life and enjoy the ride. Now, this is, to be real, to be honest, it's not going to be the easy for us all, but let's ride. Let's ride the wave in this world.
You're not alone. Feel free to reach out. If anyone is struggling, reach out to us. Okay. So it's
Even
been
if you're not
really.
struggling,
Mm.
wait, sorry, I was suddenly
Huh?
thinking, even if you're not struggling, you have good news, feel free to share to us also. We're happy.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course. Anytime, just reach out. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Siu
Chang Siu.
Ting.
Thank you, Siu Ting.
Oh, Antares. Blast of non-specific love to everyone tuning in. Stay
Care Bear
rooted.
love.
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest tonight and a fantastic week ahead. Okay, may you be blessed with abundance, prosperity, love, great health. What else? What else? Joy.
Ah, uh, uh,
Yes.
uh,
Wisdom. Mm.
harmony,
Harmony.
yeah, ease, smooth flow.
Mm. Blessings to all.
Thank you,
Take care,
thank
take
you.
care, take care. Hi,
See you.
Louise. See you. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.